And then the temporalis, think of temple. So that's just gonna be basically where the cat's temple is. So like back here, and then masseter. So that's that for that part. And then the clavotrapezius, so that's gonna start like kind of at the neck, and it extends all the way down into the front of the arm where it turns into the clavobranchialis. So clavotrapezius, clavobranchialis, so it's this piece here. And then this is cut a bit, but basically from there you have the acromiotrapezius. Sorry, that's a bit hard to see because it's cut. And then you have the spinotrapezius, so that's going to be like kind of at the base of the shoulders, and then the latissimus dorsi extends from here, minus this white part because that's the lumbodorsal fascia. So latissimus dorsi here, and then let me see. This piece is going to be the spinodeltoid, and then extending from there, like these are separate, and if you can like look at the muscle fibers, if they're going different directions, and that's an indicator that they're different muscles. But I know here, like it looks like it's connected. It's actually two separate ones, and there's just connective tissue here. So this is the, what did I say, spinodeltoid, and then this goes into the lateral head of triceps branchii. So on the arm, you basically have the two main muscles. So you have the lateral head of the triceps and the long head of the triceps, and the medial head is just in between those. And so you kind of have to pull those apart, and that's the medial head. Also, if you look at it this way, it's the same thing. It's going to be the middle muscle. The branchioradialis, so also when you're working with muscles, it's good to like be moving stuff around and like flexing stuff because it'll be easier to see it. So if you flex the arm, you can see the branchioradialis here, right? And then the branchialis is just right behind there. So you probably won't see it in the video, but it's just right behind the branchioradialis. What else? We have, I think that's everything for that. Do you mind flipping the page?
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks.
I'm gonna turn it.
No, that's okay. Yeah, so underneath here, again, if you kind of extend the arms, you can see the pectobranchialis. The pectoantibranchialis runs here. And you can kind of work out, just like if you move it around and look at the muscle fibers, a little bit of separation. So it's the pectoantibranchialis here. And then right above that, you have the pectoralis major, which it's gonna also go underneath the pectoantibranchialis and be in this first part of this like V shaped here. Because at the bottom you have the xiphi humerales, and then right above that is the pectoralis minor, and then back to the pectoralis major, which is here, and the pectoantibranchialis in the middle of that. Does that make sense? You gotta kind of work out the different sections, but obviously you can see the xiphi humerales, and then if you like really look at it, you can see kind of different segments. Like I would say here's a different one, here's a different one. So that's 3, but you kind of gotta make that out a little bit. Obviously linea alba is just that white connective tissue. External oblique, that's easy. This was not a good one to cut into to look at the different stuff because it's such a small animal. You should be able to separate these muscle layers, but this one I wasn't able to. So maybe we can try that on someone else's. But you should, like this is so thin, you can see, but you should be able to separate these layers, and then you'll be able to work out this section in the book. But yeah, I couldn't do that on this one, it was too thin. For the throat area, so it's also helpful, like if you read the descriptions in the book, obviously you don't need to memorize those, but it just helps to be able to define things. Because basically this whole middle area is your mylohyoid, and then I think in the book it says like the edges of that make a triangle are the digastric muscles, so that's easier to remember if you think about it that way. so digastric muscles, and then it goes down into the sternohyoid, which are these two pieces here. And then in between the sternohyoid and the mylohyoid, you have the stylohyoid, which is a really, really small piece. And I think it's hard to see on this one because it's a small animal, but I believe it's like right here because you can kind of see how the muscle just looks different there. So if like, you know, muscle fibers are going a different way, then obviously that's an indicator of a different muscle. So I believe it's right here, but it'll be in the middle separating those two. What is left? Oh, and then the sternomastoid, that's gonna, it makes like a V and it kind of hugs the sternohyoid. So sternomastoid kind of hugs the sternohyoid. The sternohyoid's in here. And I think because the cats were cut here for the injections, it's kind of messed with the shape of it. But that's gonna be, if we have the claviotrapezius here, this is gonna be the sternomastoid, because that'll basically come here, yeah? And then it hugs the sternohyoid. But it was cut there, so I think that they just are more open. I think that's it for the front half. Am I missing anything? I think that's it. So if we look on this side, so this big piece is the triceps branchii, and then we have the pecto antebrachialis here, but kind of in between that, we have this, the E one. I don't know how to say it. Epitroclearis? Yeah. So it's just like underneath the pecto antebrachialis, but don't confuse it with the triceps branchii, which is the big piece.
So the epitroclearis or whatever, it's that little thing?
Yeah, it's a little piece.
Okay.
It's a bit confusing in there, but just like, that's why I'm saying it's good to look at it from different views, because if you go to this side, like first I was like, okay, that's it from the book. But if you go on the other page, it says like, okay, this is the lateral head, this is the long head. And if you grab it, like that's the same muscle. So then it's gotta be this little one under here.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay. And that big one is the triceps branchii?
Right.
The one on the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But that's the, if you go back here, that's gonna be your long head. So be able to differentiate those between the lateral, long, and medial, because we'll definitely ask you to be specific on the exam. So if you just put triceps branchii, you won't get full credit because they're obviously different muscles.
So we can see the long head on this side, and then if we turn him, then that's where you can see the lateral.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because the lateral head is in the front. Okay. So like, I mean, if I were to kind of dig in here, I can get to lateral, but it's like, I mean, if you think of your arm, like the long head is going to be this bottom part, so you can grab that on either side. But then this part is just the lateral head, and then in between those, you have the medial head. Yeah, that one in there.
Okay, I see.
Yep. Good? Okay, so for the leg, I cut this, so just pretend like that's together, but it's the main one here. So that's gonna be your biceps femoris. And then up here we have this is the fascia lata is like the white kind of connective tissue part. So this is the tensor fascia lata, which you don't need to know. Or sorry, this is the fascia lata that you don't need to know, but it's connected to the tensor fascia lata, which you do need to know. The tensor fascia lata like pulls on it. So that's just like this top part here. I had it separated more, but you kind of can't see it. But yeah, just think fascia lata, tensor fascia lata up here. Gluteus medius is going to be right next to that, so that's here. Gluteus superficialis is also gluteus maximus, but I think we took that off the list. So just tensor fascia lata here, and it starts like skinny and extends down, and then the gluteus medius is right next to it. Sartorius, you have this piece that's is disconnected, so sartorius here. Biceps femoris. Yeah, I think that's it for the outside. No, where is it cut? Yeah, here. Okay, so then if you cut and reflect the biceps femoris, you can see everything in here. So the gastrocnemius is this big muscle, like the calf muscle here. Plantaris, I think you can see better on the other side. Semitendinosus is this piece, which you'll be able to see this way and this way. Same thing with like the triceps, it's this bottom piece. So that's the semitendinosus. And then this piece here, you have the semimembranosus. And then next to that, you have the adductor femoris, which you can also see on the inside that I'll show you. So you have these three here. What else is on this page? I think that's it for cut and reflected. And then if we go to the inside, no, that's cut and reflected. Here, I'm gonna pause it. Go to the inner thigh. Again, I cut this, so ignore that cut. It's supposed to be connected. But this main one is the gracilis, so that's gonna be this whole bottom piece here. And then on the top, we have the sartorius. Yeah, it is labeled. Okay, so you have the sartorius and the gracilis. We'll get to that next. And then, so you have these three pieces here. You have one piece here, one piece here, one piece here. So starting with this one, that's gonna be your pectineus. And then underneath here, in the middle, is the adductor longus. And then you have the adductor femoris. Remember I said you can see it on both sides? Because again, if you like hold it, oh, kind of lost it. Yeah, it's this piece. It's kind of hard to see, kind of hard to show you, but anyways, you can see it on both sides. And then the iliopsis, so that's gonna run like perpendicular to all of these. So these run here, you've got the nerves, the iliopsis is this piece here. I think that, vastus medialis is gonna be, vastus medialis is, where's this piece? It's like, it's a deep one in here, so that's not super easy to see. But it also runs kind of perpendicular to the iliopsis. So it kind of runs behind there. I don't think it's really easy to see on this one. No, I don't have that clear on this side. Yeah, so that's the external part. And then if you cut and reflect, so I move both of these back so we have this open. This bottom part is this is the semitendinosus again. This is the semimembranosus. And yeah, I showed you the rest, so what am I missing? We did gastrocnemius. Popliteus is like right behind the knee. How did I get to this earlier? Okay, so if you go up the gastrocnemius, and literally it's right behind the knee, you'll see a small muscle, and that's the popliteus. Just remember, it's the one behind the knee above the gastrocnemius. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing stuff, but tibialis anterior, so that's in front of the tibia. Yeah, that's all I can think of right now. And it's like, it's gonna be really behind here. You can't see it super clearly, but you see how I can separate these muscles? Yeah, so then we're gonna have the soleus, we're gonna have the plantarius is the bigger one, and then the soleus is next to it. So yeah, you just have to like kind of separate those out, and then you can see it. And then this goes up, and the popliteus is behind the knee. Yeah, I think. Did I show you? Oh, I didn't show you the tenuissimus. Tenuissimus. Where was it on here? Let's see the inside. On this side, and it was actually cut. So this piece, like the lighter pink, is the nerve, and then this like really skinny one, it does connect. I just cut it. I mean, you can see it's very small. That's the tenuissimus. And if you peel back, when you peel back the biceps femoris, like it's all going to be attached, and you have to pull it apart. So that's the nerve, and this is the tenuissimus. Yeah. I think, yeah, that's all the main leg stuff, so good there. You're only going to be able to see these inside pieces once you cut the biceps femoris and reflect the sartorius. But so under here we have the iliopsis, and yeah, that's why I got confused, because this was open and I was looking at the closed one in the book. So this, if you think of like the inner thigh, the main upper part of it is going to be this vastus medialis. So that's this big piece here. And then you have, you know, all the three that I showed you. And then this big piece is the semimembranosus, and then the semitendinosus. So those are like the really big, if you think inner thigh top piece, it's the vastus medialis, and the bottom piece is the semimembranosus, and then the stuff in between it. And yeah, it was mainly that one, because I had it closed and I was like wondering where it was, but it's literally